What's going on, guys? No Guys here. Welcome back to another video. I'm just going to explain why this video is an hour and a half, because you probably clicked on this and thinking, why is this an hour and a half? I'll explain what this is. This is a 30k team versus I think it was an elite player as well. I think I did beat him in the end, but this is just to prove that you can get elite with a cheap team. Now, obviously, my skill level and everyone else's skill level will differ, but you see, I'm just using basic mechanics. Everything, or should I say 99.99% of what you would see in this following footage is everything that we've gone through. This is probably the best way to learn FIFA, is to watch a video and see someone like myself break down everything that I'm doing. What you've learned so far, if you watched every single video previously, what you've learned so far in a progressive manner is how to play FIFA in any FIFA. In case you didn't realize, what you've learned can be applied FIFA 17, FIFA 21. What I've done is I've basically improved your FIFA IQ, your understanding of the game, why you do a jockey, why should you use a run jockey, why you do this and a why. That's why everything was done in a progressive kind of system. But yeah, this would be the video. As I said, I couldn't release this before. It was made over a month ago, but it was before the dribbling tutorial, so I couldn't release that until I released dribbling tutorial first. That took me a long time. But then now this is out. What we're going to do after this tutorial now is we're going to start preparing FIFA 21. Basically, what we're going to do FIFA 21 is we're going to learn skill moves, elasticos, drag backs, fake shots into elasticos, chaining skill moves, offside traps, D-pad tactics. Everything that's going to be in FIFA 21, you're going to be learning this summer now. But I'll make a video regarding that maybe in the next couple of days, and you'll see the update on that. But without further ado, let's just go straight into this video. If you do have any questions, of course, when you do watch this as well, make sure you watch this like in small segments. Don't watch it like for the full hour and a half. It's almost like a movie if you think about it. Maybe an educational movie, but yeah, it is very long. But I explain everything in detail. As maybe it might be worth cutting it down and maybe watching it in small segments. But if you have any questions, do let me know on Discord. Hope you enjoy this video and hope you learn a lot. Thank you very much, guys. What's going on, guys? No Guys here. Welcome back to another video. And now, I'm sure you've seen my dribbling tutorial. So this would be a team where I use a 30k team. Now, first of all, excuse my face cam. When I was playing these games, I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm pretty much sleeping most of the time, but that's not important. What I want you to focus on is the team. This is a 30k team that I played with 3 weeks ago. It cost 30k when I bought this team, and we was looking at the base card prices. You never look at a card with a shadow, because someone like Sissoko, even though the shadow costs 15k, you can buy Sissoko, for example, for 1.5k or 2k, or you can buy him with the shadow for 3k. So you're not actually paying 16k. So when you're buying a card, you always want to buy the card with the chemistry style. So this team amounted to 30k. You'll see a link in the description where I uploaded a tweet about this, but this is a team I played with, and this again I wanted to highlight because this is the game I needed to get Elite 3. Now, I'll just give you a bit of a situation report what's going on. So at the moment we're 22-3. The most important reason why I'm showing you this game is before this game we actually lost the game. We were 22-2 and we lost the game. But the reason I want to show you this game is you need to take a break. Now, I never took a break because I was streaming this, and obviously when you're a streamer you can't really take a break for obvious reasons. But it's important because it really affects your performance. Now, I'll be honest, the game that I lost before that, the game that I lost before this game, it wasn't really my fault. Because of the players that I have, I'll just give you an example. Like you can see, for example, here, the team is not that good. Yes, it's a decent team, but it's not an amazing team. I have fullbacks and centre back again because once you study the game long enough, even a lot of players don't know this, but fullbacks are better than centre backs. I'll have a video on this on my main channel on YouTube explaining why. It's mainly to do with recovery speed, the agility and balance, the distribution, how they feel on the bad connection. Anyway, the reason why I lost this game is mainly because of the finishing of the cards. So a lot of the time I felt hard done by. The reason why this is important to point out is because that game that I lost, I shouldn't have lost. I hit the post about 3 times, but it's part of the game, and it's important to take a break because then you're going to get hard done by. The first thing when I go into a game is I look. So this person that I was playing, he was actually a very good player. Now, it was kind of weird because he didn't have the best of teams. You could see he's got Guardian on both Hierro and Tierney. So he never had the best of setups. You would think someone like this would have like a shadow here or something along those lines. But I found that he had a Guardian mainly just to improve the agility and balance. It kind of worked out, and the defensive ability. So it kind of worked out on that perspective. But he was actually a very good player. But the most important thing is I analyze this team. The one thing I noticed straight away is Sane. I know that Sane is left-footed. Ben Yedder's got a 5-star weak foot. I knew Dembele got a 5-star weak foot, and I knew Rashford. So I knew roughly he's got 2 players who got maybe a 2-star and a 3-star weak foot. Sane being the bigger problem. He's got 2 5-star weak foots. He's like a 3-star and he's a 2-star. He's got 2 very good CDMs, Artur being the main one, and his backline is fairly good, and he had arguably the best goalkeeper in the game. Now obviously with the cheap team, I remember I only have a couple of chances in the game. Now the only downside, I'm not saying use this 30k team, I'm just trying to explain to you that you could easily get elite with even a cheap team. As I said, excuse the facial reactions, I'm actually reading the chat at the same time, so in case you see my face drifting to the right hand side, it's because I was actually live streaming, answering some questions to the chat at the same time. But anyway, going on to the video. So yeah, so you need to remember, I came back from a loss, and you're going to see this going to negatively affect performance, especially in the first 50 minutes. But the main thing is to try and keep your composure. So when I go off, when I start kickoff, the most important thing is, as I said, is I change the defensive formation. In this situation, I used a 4-2-3-1. Now, the way I set the team up is I knew that this was an important game. This is a game I needed, because if I won this game, it would have propelled me to 23-3, and it would have put me in a good position to get Elite 1. We didn't get Elite 1 in the end, and we just it was more of a situation where we just lost a couple of games and we didn't get Elite 1 in the end. But this is just a very, very good example of showing what you can do. Now, the first thing I do is, as soon as I defend kickoff, this is actually a mistake what I was in. I'll be honest, this was a mistake. I was looking at the chat, but what I should have done is I should have actually controlled my striker, or my striker in this case, and ran around with him, which I've talked about previously. You know, keep your back line, keep your midfield in shape, and use your striker. Defend kickoff with your striker. But as I said, if I do make mistakes, excuse me, pardon me, should I say, because I was reading the chat at the same time, probably answering a question, so I wasn't really concentrating too much. This is after the patch. So what I did here, I did striker drop back. So you press. So what I did here, I'm just going to show you. If you look on the D-pads, I press down the D-pad. He's activated defensive pane. So overload the ball side. This was before the nerf. So this video was taken, I would say, on I think this first week of March. So I would say a month from today, roughly a month from today. So it was really when people said very good teams. Overload the ball side was nerfed. Not so much then, but it was going to be nerfed a couple of weeks after. So this is when I was in infancy. I didn't recommend using overload the ball side. Now you can just use low width, but I use overload the ball side. I use striker drop back. Now what striker drop back is let's say you're playing a 4-2-3-1. Now if you have your instruction for your striker to stay forward the entire game, what striker drop back does is that this overrides this tactic. So in this situation, I'm using my 4-2-3-1, my classic 4-2-3-1 with my cam and my striker on stay forward. So a striker drop back, even though his instruction is stay forward, it just makes him come back on the fence. So what it is basically, no matter what the instruction is for the striker, by activating striker drop back, you're basically making come back on the fence. So the main thing here is just defensive stability. I don't want to concede kickoff, because the most important thing in the FUT Champions, especially with a cheap team, is you don't want to concede. The games that I lost, I think I lost 3 games in total. A lot of the games that I lost, I wouldn't, well, I know it's going to sound maybe a bit unorthodox, but I don't think I deserved to lose the games. It was more of the team let me down. Hit the post more time, but it happens to all of us, it happens to the best of us. But the most important thing is when you go down, especially against a team or a player that's, for example, this was actually a really good goal. So this is just a perfect example. As you can see here, I came back on the back of the loss. I was talking and I wasn't really concentrating. As you can see, I made a major mistake. I should have been using my striker from kickoff. I tried to use the run and jockey here. He gets the ball with Rashford. He does an L tornado. He does it like a drag back and an L tornado. I'll be honest, I never expected this. It's a terrific goal in the end in terms of unpredictability. I mean, I drag back here. I'll be honest, at this point, I started paying attention. I was mainly looking at this defender over here, and I was trying to block this passing lane, or this shooting lane, should I say. So as you can see, I'm positioning my defender just so if he does take a shot with Rashford's right foot, it will block the far post angle, because the near post angle is really just kind of already blocked, if that makes sense. It was mainly about positioning my defenders, so we're going to play it now. And as you can see, when I got the ball here, I woke up, tried paying attention, tried to cut the pass lane out. He completely outplayed me, and it was a good goal, and I couldn't do anything about it. I'll be honest, I was more surprised than anything. I was like, I couldn't believe it, because at this point, I'll be honest, I knew deep down, and maybe this is actually a good time to show my facial reaction. Even myself, I do get frustrated, because I knew deep down in my heart that maybe I should have concentrated that minute. And that's what I'm trying to say. If you don't concentrate for just 10 seconds, even if you're an experienced player like myself, if you make a mistake, you could be 1-0 down. The game completely changes, especially at an elite level. If your opponent is 1-0 ahead, he can easily control the game. the most important thing is to not get frustrated. So for example here, as you can see, I'm furiously pressing X and A on the controller. I'm trying to skip the replay. I'm getting really, should I say, annoyed. Now this is the wrong thing to do. Do not kick off straight away. Try taking a break. Just wait 10 seconds at kickoff. Compose yourself. But as you can see, look, just straight from kickoff, this is a perfect example. As you can see, I make a stupid pass. Now this pass, I would never make this pass. It's a combination of being angry from the last game that I shouldn't have lost, hitting the post 3 times and losing 1-0 to someone parking the bus with the mega squad, and then it was the fact that I conceded a stupid goal, which was my fault. But more importantly, I never took that break. So taking this break at kickoff, just wait 10 seconds, just wait, be patient, wait, because if you don't, something like this is going to happen. And as I said, I was lucky I had a fullback here to recover, otherwise I would have been very much in serious trouble. But as you can see now, I'm thinking now that I need to control the game. So what I do is I slow the game down deliberately. Now what I mean by that is, if I in a situation I could have ran forward, but what I do is I play the safe option, because I know in this situation I'm angry, so I'm trying to play a safe option. I'm also trying to test the waters of my opponent. I know he's a good player. He presses fairly high, but I don't want to take any risks. Don't forget, this is a cheap team, so maybe you might see me not take all the risks. So I might not take all the shots. I only kind of really shoot when it's a guaranteed shot on goal. So you can see here, using the CDMs, going back to, as I said, using the CDMs, using them very well. We get a chance with Ben Yedder here. Now, that was actually wasn't meant to happen. What I was meant to do over there, I remember what I was trying to do is I was trying to just get the ball and turn upwards, as you can see. But this was because of delay. The turn never happened. So I remember at this point I was thinking this is going to be an absolute shambles. So anyway, I would get the ball back in midfield. The most important thing is you get the ball back in midfield. Now, I'm always looking at this Dembele pass, but you see, the most important thing is I never forced the pass. I could have made that pass, realistically, I could have, but you see how I just play it slow. You see, I see that pass, but I'm weighing out the risk here. Yes, I could have played a through ball, but let's say I got the ball with Dembele. What would he do from that situation? Maybe I could do a fake shot and cut backwards, but it's extremely risky to play that ball. So I go for the civets. So as you see, again, I use my CDMs. Going back to using CDMs is extremely, extremely important. I get the ball to Goretzka, and as you can see, just by passing to the CDMs, I create movement, you see. So as you can see, there's no good setup here. I get the ball to Goretzka, and as you can see, Lucas is free. Now, as you can see, my opponent is Mark Lucas. Now I'm focusing on this player. Now, I don't know if you can see my eyes, but what I'm actually looking at this player over here. So basically what Lucas is doing, he's acting as a mid distraction. So I really want to pass the ball literally to Ben Yedder, but I'm just kind of focusing on Ben Yedder. I'm going to have an eye tracker eventually, so you'll see what I'm looking at. But I'm focusing on Ben Yedder, and the key is I just want to do a fake shot and try to score a goal. And he defends that very, very well. And what I do here again is I don't run with any other player. I run back with my CDM. You see that? I run back with my CDM here, who's Goretzka. Goretzka and Sissoko are both my CDMs. And as you can see here, with Lucas. Now you see, I don't run towards the ball. I run to where the ball is going to be. See, I run to this direction. This is why pace is extremely important. As you can see here, you see the recovery. Now, as you can see just over here, if I went upwards, I would have lost that goal. But the fact that I was able to kind of go on the shorter angle, it forced him to ball roll away. That's why it forced him. If I never did that, it would have been clean through if I kind of angled myself away from the goal. So if I went, for example, like here, and I was like going upwards, he would have beaten me, he would have made down the line. But I basically forced him to go backwards. He did this kind of ball roll turn. When someone does a ball roll turn like this, I know immediately they're a good player. It's kind of what I kind of judge players. I mean, I'm sure if you've played someone online and they do, for example, like an Elastico or something, maybe you might judge them a lot. So anyway, going back to what I was saying in terms of judging. So I judged him in terms of the skill move he did. Don't forget as well, I think a lot, as I said, a lot of elite players, they play home games. So because I was on stream, I really didn't care about who I was playing. I just kind of wanted to get into a game just to show you can. I wanted to do this without cherry picking, if that makes sense. But as you can see, I judged his opponent. I knew very well he was a very good player. So from this point, I played very conservatively. So what I did from now on is, as you can see, I kept my backline in shape. I used my Dembele here. The reason why, Dembele is my RAM. So he should be defending this area. By alleviating Sissoko, he goes back into a CDM role. And then that way Martial can go out wide again. And then also, if I choose Ben Yedder, then there'll be a gap in midfield. So I'm assigning that RAM position to that side. You see that? As you can see as well, I'm running jockey, controller, RAM. and I do. And then as you can see here, I'm using my striker now, so I'm trying to cut the passing lanes. As you can see, I'm running. By the way, sometimes you might see, as I said, you might see my eyes drift away. I'm actually looking at the chat at that point, rather than seeing. But what I will be looking at this point is I'll be looking at, for example, who's the passing options available. The most viable option I can cut out is this one. So I'm forcing him on the wide option, if that makes sense. You can see I'm running to him, and I keep running along with him. Keep running backwards. Now this situation, okay, I'm in trouble now. I want to keep my back line in shape. So I try my best not to select the play. I lose the ball here. Now here I know that I'm using overload the ball side. Now, as I said, after they patched it now, so it's very ineffective. You can use low width, which emulates overload the ball side, but the most important thing is to realize that when you overload the ball side, your wings are free. So what I try doing is, in a situation, is what I like to call aggressive. So I'm not saying, now in my earlier videos I said don't be aggressive. The reason why I say don't be aggressive is you need to learn recovery. So in this situation, I should have used my CDM here, but I'd be aggressive with my other centre back, because I know I got fullbacks and centre backs. I can recover very quickly. This is the reason why I advocate fullbacks and centre back, because your recovery speed is a lot more. And what I'm doing here is I'm just basically pushing him away, because I knew what I'm trying to do here at this point is I'm forcing him to make a pass down the line, getting him away from goal, if that makes sense. He goes back, and I change back to my CDM. Then as soon as he gets to this part of the field, I change to my cam. Now I know Ben Yedder and Dembele, depending on the formation, they kind of interchange. Sometimes Dembele goes on the right, sometimes he's behind the cam on a central position. Here I think I put him in a cam position after the defensive formation has changed. It's been 9 minutes, the ball hasn't, well, apart from the goal being scored, the ball hasn't really gone out of play. So at this point, I'll be honest, I was just kind of thinking who's who. But the most important thing is when you use your CDM, for example, like here, now this, in argue, what I would have taught you is, for example, you keep running with your striker here. This is what I should have done. What I did by using my CDM here is I actually created a massive gap, because Sissoko should be here. But again, if I happened to make this risky chance, I could have recovered well. So if I lost the ball here, what I would have done is I would have ran back with someone like my winger. This is what you call a covering run. Now, a covering run is if you see the danger, so you'll see, for example, as the game goes on, you'll see. But the most important thing is I don't want to concede. As you can see now, I'm being overly defensive. So you can see I've got my players to come back in defense. I'm now choosing my striker to keep my back line in shape. I'm trying to cut this pass, because as you can see, these guys are marked. I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, let me cut this passing lane. Then I see this player is free. So watch. You're going to see here. At this point, I see there's no passing lane available. It's only this downwards here. I cut this passing lane. Then as soon as he's marked this passing lane, I need to mark this one. So the idea is, so we're just going to go back. So I'll tell you what my thought process is. At this point, when he gets the ball like here, this is the kind of passing lane thought process. I want to first cut out this passing lane. Once that passing lane is being cut out, I look at the next imminent danger. So I go cut the passing lane out like so. Then I see immediately in my peripheral vision that there's another passing lane available. So I use the L1 button, not the right stick, the L1 button, because he's got the second defender cursor above his head. And I change player, or I try to change player. I don't really change it in time. As you can see just over here, I don't really change it. You can see I just missed it. I think just over here, just missed it, but that's fine. But again, now I'm in a position with my two CDMs now. You can see Martial is drifted all the way over here. And as you can see, with a CDM, I try to be aggressive. Now here, I'd be aggressive, but as you can see, just watch how I recover the situation. Now, what I tried doing here is, I tried to run back with my CDM first. So I tried to run back my CDM first. It's only when I saw him do a Ronaldo chop at that point. And then at this situation, what I'm doing my CDM, I'm doing two things. Number one, I'm running back as I already taught you, so you can keep your back four in shape. Number two, I'm also running back to protect this area, just in case this runner was to come in. I'll be honest, if I remember correctly and recall this correctly, I didn't really see this runner on my vision. My idea was just to kind of run back and kind of tackle the ball with my CDM. So I tried to run back, as you can see. And then once he comes into this area, now he's through. If the ball was over here, then I could get the ball with Goretzka, but here I have no choice. So I know Sane's got the ball down the wing. I know he's left-footed. So what I try doing is I try to stop him from going wide, if that makes sense. And I don't mind him cutting inside because he's right foot. He's got a weak right foot, but I know he's going to pass it. So here I get the ball with Sissoko. I know again, Sissoko can't shoot. So what I'm looking at is, I'm like, I'm thinking in my head the statistical chance here. So I'm working out the stats in my head. I'm thinking, what's the chance of someone like Sissoko shooting and the ball going in? It's very unlikely. Had that been someone like Gullit or Messi, it would have been a different situation. But Sissoko on his strong foot, but he hasn't got good shooting. So I'm mainly focusing on Dembele, the main danger man, as you can see here. So I don't be too aggressive. I hold my ground. See, what a lot of people will do in this situation is they will make a mistake and they'll go completely aggressive towards him. Now, if I went completely aggressive towards him, what he could have done is he could have made a simple pass downwards and done a fake shot with Dembele and scored a goal very, very easily. So what I'm doing here is what I like to call holding the line. So I'm just kind of holding the line, occupying the space. So I'm still covering the center of the goal. And once Dembele is pushed into this position over here, then I know that if he goes forward, I know that this Goretzka is blocking him. And so therefore I can take a risk with Ruslan. Had Goretzka not been there, I would have been tucked in on the inside. Because you guys always ask me this, what if, for example, that player wasn't there? If that player wasn't there, what I would have done, for example, over here, is I would have tucked in just over here. And tried to, at the very least, hold my line so I can try to recover if he goes both sides. But because Goretzka was above me, I could afford to take the risk with my left back here. And I knew that even if he cut inside, I could change to Goretzka and kind of defend the area. So as you can see, it's kind of like doubling up on my opponent. So anyway, he does a skill move. I know he's going away from goal now. And then he just kind of goes away and I kind of recover, as you can see that. So again, he makes a mistake, get the ball and I recover. Now when I get the ball with Goretzka, I'm thinking, okay, counter attack time. Who can I see? There isn't really any attacking options available. What's the first thing I do? L1 trigger. Remember I told you there's no passing option available. What do? I trigger L1. This guy, let him make a run forward, let him drift from defenders away. He doesn't make that pass. So the next option is this player. Now I could have passed to Lucas, I'll be honest, but I saw the safer option in passing the ball. Because if I pass to Lucas here, if he was over here, there's a chance that this defender can come along and I wouldn't be able to do much. So the idea was kind of play the 1-2 pass here, let Sissoko run forward. In this way I can have 3 players join the attack as opposed to just having 2 if I played it through ball to Lucas. So that's the reason why, going back to the CDMs again. Now here what I tried doing is I passed the ball here. I tried doing a 1-2, so I wanted to pass the ball back to Lucas. I tried to turn, again as you can see on my controller, I'm trying to turn, but the delay, this is another game, the delay wasn't that bad. I mean, it was an average delay, but it does really cost me, as you can see. So I tried to turn backwards, it didn't really work. As you can see here, what I did is I had to be aggressive here because in some respect I was in no man's land. This is what I like to call no man's land. People always ask me about this question. If you're here, if you're at this point, you kind of have to commit. I think, because you're close to the ball. If you were like over here, I would have ran back maybe, but because I was that close, I committed to the ball. I took the risk and the interception paid off. I got a very unlucky bounce. So the most important thing is, okay, recovery. Now I don't want to select my back line, so I select my CDM first. So I use my CDM and I try to recover. See, I'm using run and jockey. Then I see this passing lane. I can see this. So I'm like, okay, I'm in trouble now. Now the closest person I can select now is Martial. Now, I'll be honest, what I tried doing here, I'll explain to you what I tried doing here. I actually tried changing to Sissoko, but what happened was it changed to Martial. He was too far away from the ball at this point. I tried to then change to Sissoko again. It changed to my striker. Unfortunately, how a player switching is. And then at this point, it's kind of like a no-man situation. So at this situation, look, change to the wrong player here, change the wrong player again. Then I press L1 to default it, and I try to change back to Sissoko or Goretzka. I want them to basically run in front, either one of them, and secure the place. I get screwed again. Now this happens sometimes. Now this is a situation where I'm against my back line, but as again, I try to be aggressive, but not too aggressive. What I mean by that is, okay, it looked like I was aggressive there, but I only made the tackle because I knew that it was kind of like a do or die at this point. I didn't mind. Basically, I didn't mind bringing him down and taking the yellow card. If I went 2-0 down here against this team, I would have probably lost against a good player. Let me tell you something important. This is very important. In FIFA, if you give me, let's just to give you a bit of an insight. If you gave me a 30k team, I could probably beat a lot of elite players. However, if I came across someone who's a top 100 player or an elite 1 player, or maybe even a good elite 2 player, I would struggle. There's only so much you can do with a good team. Even pro players, you'll see, for example, I'm not a pro player, just want to let you know. But even the pro players who will do complete try hard, abuse every mechanic, you'll see that even they can't do a lot with a good team. So going 2-0 down would have been, in some respect, would have been game over. So I could not go 2-0 down. We get the ball again. I'm thinking, okay, where can I go? The only thing I'm thinking of is, okay, let's do a 1-2 now. So I get the ball with Martial, I'll do a 1-2. Now, Ideally, I want to play a ball back to Martial into the space, but there is an option available. So I go back to, I meant to go back to my CDM, and then I saw Goretzka. Now here I trigger L1, so then you can see Lucas makes that pass. Now I'm looking at Lucas. I'm just, as you can see, I'm fixated on Lucas. I'm seeing where is he. Now I made the pass. Now I'll be honest, the reason why people make the mistake by doing a through ball here, I want the ball to get on his feet. So here, what a lot of people will do is they will do a through ball. So what I want to do is I wanted to get the ball to Lucas's feet. So I did a normal A pass because I knew that he wasn't in line. If Lucas was, for example, over here, then I could have played a through ball into this area over here, and then Lucas could have ran into it. But because Lucas was behind the defender, I played a normal A pass, got the ball with Lucas. Now with left stick dribbling, you can see that before the ball is getting to me, I'm already registered the command to turn inside, because I know now there's a delay. This entire game has a lot of delay, so I know in order to overcompensate, I want to change and turn inside now. So as you can see now, I get the ball, I turn immediately. I see Ben Yedder in my vision, but I'll be honest, I kind of made a mistake. My idea was to get the ball with Lucas, for it to be a good pass to get the ball with Ben Yedder, and get myself into a situation where I can do a fake shot on either side. That was the whole idea. So I played a slow game, tried to make the pass. The pass was horrific. It was honestly a diabolical pass. I wish it wasn't, because had that been a good pass, it would have been a good goal. But this is another example why passing, especially with a cheap team, is really hard. So you could have argued I had to take that extra touch upwards and then make the pass. But if I took the extra touch to guarantee the pass angle, there is a chance he would have closed into the gap. So I just took a risk into the first time pass. But anyway, the whole idea is at this point, all I'm thinking in my head now at the situation is I need to get a fake shot. I need to get the ball to my feet, especially in the final third. So that's what I'm trying to do from now on, because I know he's defending quite well. He's not playing a high line, so I can't really get him behind. So again, recovery, you can see using my RAM, running back with my RAM now, which is Lucas, running back all the way, just making sure I'm on the defense tactic. That is something that I just do out of habit, just to make sure. Get the ball over here. Now as you can see, I noticed this player, I'm making big mistake. As you can see, I lapsed concentration for a split second, and for some reason I decided to go left. I don't know why I did that. I thought he was going to turn inside, but you see this opponent was being very unpredictable. See, most of the time he'll do a ball roll or a skill move and go inside. This time he went outside. Now I should have here ran back and should have kind of covered that run, and I ran forward. But the most important thing is recovering. Now, this is why fullbacks and centre back is important. If you have a traditional centre back, you're going to be screwed, because you're going to be too slow and you're going to be caught in no man's land. So this is why I use fullbacks in centre back. So I got the speed of a fullback. So here, I know my peripheral vision. I know I'm in trouble, because it's basically a 4v3 situation. So I know that I need to make a tackle now. I can't take a risk. So what happens is I try to be aggressive towards the ball, but I know, as you can see in my layout, there's one defender to each player. I know if he gets down the line, he does a driven through ball, then this defender is free. So I don't want him to go all the way down the line. So I want to kind of cut him down in his tracks as soon as possible. So again, I don't run. So what I'm doing here is I don't run to the ball directly. I'm running into where the ball is going to be. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to force him wide. So I'm trying to not be over here where he's got too much space and he's going down the wing, definitely, because then he can just go down the wing and play a driven pass early and get the ball in. What I'm doing is I'm not being too far forward, otherwise then he will cut inside and he could just easily just pass around me. I'm kind of doing a bit of two things. I'm trying to pushing him wide and kind of occupying the space. As you can see here, I'm trying to angle my body, push him wide. Again, initially, I'm not running to where the ball is. As you can see, look, I'm not running upwards. I'm not even running here. I'm aiming over here. Look where I'm aiming. I'm analog sticks. I'm aiming over here where the ball is going to be. That's what I'm aiming. As you can see, then I then follow along. I then make a tackle and I then win the ball back. And that is the reason why fullbacks are so important, especially in recovery. Now here I'm looking at now, what I'm doing here in this situation here is I'm bringing my, and don't forget, by the way, just remember all my controls are exactly the same as yours. The only difference is my tackle button is X or A when I'm defending. For you, it will be circle, as you can see on the screen. That's the only difference. Just remember that. Now here I'm running back with Ben Yedder, so I'm trying to recover. Now, I'm just trying to, basically what I'm trying to do, I selected Ben Yedder to run back because I didn't want to break my defensive line. You know, that's my cam. if I bring my cam forward, then he's free. So I use the player, that's my striker, far forward. So I bring him forward. I try to change, he just gets fouled in the end, as you can see. Like, so what I'm doing here is, as soon as this free kick happens, I'm looking now. I'm thinking, okay, let me look at the radar. So I'm looking at this player over here. I'm thinking, okay, no one's using him. Let me bring it back. Try to bring it back, get fouled. Almost got a panic season, run out with Dembele. And luckily I recovered the ball with Sissoko. But as you can see, as soon as he makes that pass, I kind of run out to follow that pass. I get the ball, do a through ball. Now here, counter attack. This is where we go. So I can see a lot of space in front of me. I do a ball roll, as you can see. More to play for time. Now I'm just waiting to see what he does. I get the ball here. It's like I said, I'm just playing for time, waiting to see what he's doing. I didn't mean to do this, by the way. I just tried doing a ball roll, by the way. I didn't mean to do the Ronaldo chop. But anyway, I'm through at this point. So what I want to do is, I know I'm in trouble. So what I do is I do a ball roll. Remember I told you in the ball roll example. So I do a ball roll that way, and I do a turn. So as I said, the ball roll tutorial. So just like how he did to me, I did a ball roll to get past the opponent, to go away from him, just to make sure he doesn't get the ball. So what I'm doing, by doing the ball, I'm kind of putting my left foot over the ball. That way he can't tackle me. If he does, it will be a foul. Ball roll away from him, then turn inside, and then I see the pass. Now, this was an extremely risky pass to make, but I took the risk at this situation because I knew that Dembele had a 5-star weak foot. Ball roll away, turn, and then I did the pass. That's it. It's just watch very quickly. Look, turn, normal through ball. Now I'm thinking at this point here, what can I do? What do I do? As I always taught you, L1 trigger, get that player into the pitch as soon as possible. So I'm thinking here, let me pass to him. I kind of cut inside, try to pass the ball to him. I realized that he's overshooted it, but I can't really do, it's kind of like a mixed situation because I know he overshot it, right? I couldn't pass to him now because if he gets the ball here, what's he going to do? So I do a fake shot into the space, and as you can see, I do a lofted pass. Now, I'll be honest, this was kind of like pre-planned. It's kind of hard to explain after when I watch it back, but I basically saw him, realized I couldn't pass to him. The fake shot here was done as a distraction. So as I said, fake shots, remember, skill moves can be used as distractions. It brings the human eye away. There's more the psychology of it. At this point, by doing a fake shot, what happens is it just kind of phases my opponent. Think, okay, Graham, okay, damn, he's going to do a fake shot. He might go either way. So it phases the player to kind of change to this player and mark him. So that's what I did. And at that point, I did a lofted through ball into the space. I'll be honest, I tried to make the pass to Sweat. I was kind of caught in two things. Do I shoot? Do I sweat? It didn't really turn off in the end. That was a good chance. Anyway, I'm pressing now. Got the ball with my CDM. I'm thinking, okay, I'm in trouble. So here, just here, look. I noticed at this point, okay, you know what? I'm being too aggressive. This is my right back. So I changed to my CDM. So my right back goes back over here, as you can see now. And then I change to my ram press. I know he's done the 1-2, so I know this. I can see on my eyes. I'm like, okay, I see that run. I see him. What I'm thinking is, let me change to my right back. What I'm thinking, run back as soon as I can. Run back. See how man marking that run? So look, as soon as the movement, as soon as that 1-2, as soon as I see Rashford, as soon as I see him stick his hand up, the key thing is look at that hand. As soon as you see that hand getting stuck out, you need to realize, okay, he's in a position now. I change play immediately, and as you can see, I'm not even focusing on Lucas. I'm just looking at this guy, and I'm running all the way back, trying to mark that pass. And after that, I can continue back to the way I'm going. Then I can press, got to run all the way down here. Try to cut this passing lane out as well. I realize I'm too far away from the ball, so I choose the most place player, which is Martial. Martial. I tried to cut that passing lane out here. I tried to recover here. I know I'm using my left back, but I be aggressive here, but I know when to change. You see, I don't. The key thing with being aggressive. Now you can be aggressive, but one thing you need to understand is when you're aggressive, you don't want to have your right back in front of your player. A lot of players, when they, for example, people argue this is going to be a bit contradictory because I've always told you never to use your left back. Now, it is very true. Never use your left back. As I say, sometimes even I make mistakes, especially when I'm not really concentrating too much and I'm streaming. But in this situation, I should have used my CDM. But when I am aggressive, I make the point that if I'm aggressive, I never go beyond my player. So that way, if I ever go beyond my player, he can just do a fake shot and turn me, and all this space will be open for him. So I make sure as soon as I hit the player, I make sure I change another player. So you can be aggressive as long as you understand when to switch to a player. That's why I say in the beginning, it's best just to use your CDMs first. And you can learn recovery after, because recovery will come naturally to you, because once you use your CDMs, Psychologically speaking, the more you get used to using your CDMs, you'll know to bail yourself out in situations. It's kind of hard to explain, but naturally you'll get the muscle memory here. He switches the ball and you make, and so here what happened here, I saw this pass up at the top over here, makes the pass. Now in Sissoko, he'll have to turn on his left foot, so I tried to cover that pass, as you can see. So I wasn't marking Sane, I was marking the passing lane. As you can see, that passing lane, I was trying to cover that passing lane. Then here I'm using my center back. I don't want to use my center back, I don't really want to, but again, I kind of choose to be aggressive. But as soon as the pass gets made, I know realistically that I need this guy to go back. I need this guy to go back and return to position. So you could be aggressive, but as you can see, I wouldn't recommend doing this, by the way. I'm just kind of pointing this out here now, because naturally sometimes it does happen. The most important thing is when I am aggressive, I kind of block the passing lane. Once the passing lane is blocked, then I just kind of go back and return to my position. So that's the most important thing you need to remember. Here, as you can see, here's the board R-Tour, CDM, run back my CDM. Again, CDM's here. Now I'm looking at Sane, but I know he's got a 2-star weak foot. So I don't mind Sane getting the ball here, because if he gets the ball here, I can push him on his left foot. It's not an issue. So I'm still using my CDM here. As soon as he gets the ball with Ben Yedder, now I'm in trouble, because with Ben Yedder, he can either do a skill move and go either up or down. So I kind of stay here to stop him from cutting inside. So this is a situation where I allow him to go down the wing. Now, the way I defend, sometimes I allow my opponent to go down into position. So for example here, just over here. Now when I got the ball here, I kind of gave him the space because I didn't want him to cut inside. Because if you cut inside, he could have passed the ball to Sane. I mean, he could have done a through ball to Sane, and he could have scored near post with Sane's left foot. Or he could have ran back, he could have gone like that, did a fake shot, and then could have gone and scored. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to push him out wide around this area. I took the risk because if, for example, the player was over here, it might have been a different situation. I might have to, as I said, hold the line. Because if he went through over here, you could have gone near post. Because he's fairly on the outside, I said I want to push my player down the wing. So I kind of deliberately overcommit on the inside. As you can see here, deliberately overcommit on the inside to force him. As soon as he kind of goes outside, I try to cover the run. And I try to be very aggressive here. He does a very, very, very good, as you can see, very, very good ball roll and movement away from me. Next thing I'm thinking of, okay, you know what, I need to change player. I need to change to my CDM, my centre back. Now I'll be honest, I don't know why I didn't change here. I should have changed a bit earlier, mistake that I made, but I would have probably just gone like that and probably been aggressive here with this situation. The way I would have been aggressive if I ran out of my centre back is I would have basically covered the passing lane as well. So I wouldn't have ran directly at him. I'll kind of look where Ben Yedder is, and let's say Ben Yedder made a run like that, I'll kind of curve my run like that, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of going towards him, but I'm also cutting the passing lane out to Ben Yedder. Because Ben Yedder's through there, then he's completely free. I'll be honest, I kind of got, it was almost a bad pass, and kind of a risk that I took on my front. So now I get the ball here, 25 minutes again. Now I know at this point, being aggressive is not helping me. This is something that you guys will kind of get with experience. I knew at this point, being aggressive is not going to help me anymore. So I decided to go backwards. So now I'm realizing at this point, I think, I knew at this point that I was struggling, and I knew that I couldn't get through because I knew he was a very good player defensively. So what happened is I had to go back, and I knew I had to play a more defensive game. Go backwards, regain composure, use your CDMs, as I said, get my CDMs here, then just play a very slow game. Now he made a mistake. Now you see, I didn't make this mistake, he made a mistake. Now this mistake only occurred, like you see, this situation, there was nothing available here. Like, what could I do here? There was no pass. Okay, I could have made a risk pass to Ben Yedder, but that was about it. So I go back to Goretzka, play the safe option. But just by going back, I bait this player out of position. Now this player, as you can see, is my opponent, Semedo. I think it is my opponent, Semedo. I think over here. So I actually baited Semedo out of position here. Now, I think even though he did that, he was a good player, so he knew how to recover, and also one of his CDMs dropped in. But here, he then overly committed that way. I turned on the inside, and I then made the pass. Very, very simple. But that simple mistake of just me going back and recycling the play, he made a mistake. Now, the situation, what I'm thinking here is L1. Let these guys run in behind. I know it's a 2v2 situation now. I got a chance there. So here, I press L1 trigger. Now at this point, I'll be honest, I'm looking at this guy and I'm thinking, look, if I do a through ball here, he gets onto that through ball. He goes there and does a near post shot. I'm thinking it's a goal. That's what's kind of going on in the back of my head. So this situation, a through ball is a viable thing to do. But what happened was, at this situation, I made the pass early because I wanted to get the ball to my feet and then do a left analog stick downwards. I never expected him to be this aggressive. Had I known he was going to be this aggressive, I would have made a through ball now. But that's why I made the normal pass early, because I didn't expect him to be this aggressive, because in the whole game, he was very methodical. He didn't push his players out of position. Also, don't forget, he knew I was playing with a cheap team. Also, my name was Neil Guides as well, using my Neil Guides account. A lot of people that I played this weekend, that weekend league, I played a lot of my viewers as well. And naturally, they went complete try hard against me. That's completely fine. But people knew as well who I was. So it wasn't. So I think he also knew. I think I messaged him after. I think he also knew after the end of the game that I was. So I was surprised he made this mistake. But he makes mistakes. He got the ball. So I know I get the ball here. And I'll be honest, I'm just thinking here, go inside. And I'll be honest, I want to do a normal fake shot. This is the problem with the 5-star skillers. Sometimes do this kind of scoop fake shot. Normally you do this holding, L1. If you're on PS4, L1 plus, the fake shot, or the, L1, or sorry, what's that? Sorry, L1 plus X, L1 and the fake shot. But it's 5-star skillers. They do it sometimes, so it kind of happen like that. It didn't really happen. I didn't really want it. I just wanted to do a simple fake shot upwards. I'll be honest, into the space. And the idea was, I can then, once I get into the situation up here, I make a decision. Do I either, play a through ball into Ben Yedder and let him shoot, or do I kind of keep running with Dembele, or do I kind of go outward again? But it didn't work out, and that was a wasted chance. And I got extremely, extremely lucky. But as you can see here, look here, extremely, extremely lucky. As you can see here, but he recovered well, and I got a very, very lucky bounce. I got the ball, and had this been any other player but Dembele, he probably would have gone into the back of the net. It really would have. But the fact that Dembele, I even took the extra touch. Look, you can see as well the extra touch. Look there, see that extra touch there? See how extra I was? See, I didn't even take the shot early. See that? I made sure I got the angle perfect. You see that? And the way the shot kind of went in, he did like an inside the foot shot towards the goalkeeper. I don't know why he did that. You should just belted that in the corner like that. You should just tapped it in the corner, but instead he kind of went like this and tapped it towards the goalkeeper. I don't know why, considering where my analog stick is aiming as well. So I was really upset because I knew that was a guaranteed goal. Like I was thinking, I remember at this point I was thinking, this is just not going well for me. I got a delay, I'm lagging, getting really unlucky, and this should have been a goal. And at this point I was thinking two things, this gone in 1-1 different game. I could have passed the ball to Lucas and I could have sweated it, but I was so sure I was going to score. But that's another thing altogether. I remember I was talking to the chat here saying, I can't believe that he missed that. Why is he passed to the middle? So anyway, I go short in the end. As you can see, I press R1, bring this player short. I always go short because statistically speaking, it's more viable to go short in my opinion. It creates better chances than randomly going for an RNG effort. Control the ball, get the ball with Schulz. This is realistic dribbling, as you can see. As you can see, I can see he's committing upwards, and then that's where I do left stick dribbling downwards. You see that? It's all about timing. I'm just going to slow this down. So you can see, for example, here, look at the left stick dribble. As you can see, I cut inside at the exact moment I know he's going to overcommit. So I'm basically predicting where he's going to be, and I'm dribbling into the space where he's not going to be. As you can see, at this point, I can see he's running that way, running upwards. So I can then, that gives me then time to turn. Then I make the pass immediately. Simple pass and a very, very simple goal. As you can see, all from a corner. And this is why it's it's why left stick dribbling is important. As you can see, look, I go up. I see he's running upwards. I do a simple left stick dribbling away. I pass the ball to Goretzka on the feet. Then I'm looking at this, I take a touch, and you see a lot of people here, what they'll do is they'll do like a first time pass here. No, you see, I take a touch, I control the ball, use my body to shield. Even though I don't shield using L2, use my body to shield, get the ball with Dembele, and you guys know, near post, you guys know how OP it is. Now I try to time the shot. You don't have to time your shot. The reason why I time my shots is, as I said the previous game, I hit the post 3 times. I didn't want it. This is completely fine, I have to time it. Take that touch, create the angle, and that's it's a goal. As soon as I hit it, I knew it was a good goal. Now at this point, I'll be honest, I knew it was 1-1. I just wanted to regain composure, so I went to ultra defensive. Now the reason I went to ultra defensive was I just wanted to not concede, because I knew this guy was very good. What I'm using here is progressive tactics. Probably seen this on my main YouTube channel. I've gone over it. So here I'm using my ultra defense. That means everyone's going to come back and offense. 2 things. Number 1, I'm defending against kickoff, and I'm ensuring that I don't lose the ball, or I don't, more importantly, concede a goal and potentially could lose the game. So this situation is kickoff, so at this point I'm concentrating, but again I make the same mistake again. Look at the chat and I'm speaking to the chat, but I'm being conservative. I'm still using my strikers, as you can see. I'm using both my strikers, but I'm being wary. I know the mistake I made in the first minute, and I made sure I didn't want to repeat the same mistakes again. I'm using my striker. I'm trying to use my, as you can see, I'm using my cam, my striker. I'm using my front two players. Because I knew as soon as this, I knew that as soon as the situation happened, like I'll be honest, at this point here, I knew that I'm going to make a mistake. And then I realized I just completely ignored it. Well, I was still speaking to the chat, but the most important thing, I was interacting. I was kind of doing two things. But the most important, the reason why I'm saying this is after the goals, you normally lose a bit of naturally speaking, like even me, I kind of thought, okay, I'm back in the game. I can kind of relax. This is the wrong mentality to have. I knew immediately at this point I needed to start fixing up and get back into position. So again, using my strikers, defending with my strikers first, keeping my midfield line in shape, defending with my strikers first, getting the ball. Now I'm thinking, you know what, I need to hit this guy, I need to hit this guy hard. So I need to get counter attack, whatever I get, whatever chance I can get. So I start playing a bit more aggressive now. But because it's now 1-1, I'm in a position where I can dictate the game. This is what I like to call dictating the game. Is, you know, when you're losing, if you ever do coaching with me, the reason why I ask you for a gameplay when you're losing is, as you can see, when you're losing, you rush sometimes. Even me, I could have gone backwards a few times, but now I know that I'm not losing. I don't have to go forward as much. So now I can go back. I can use my CDMs. I can go all the way back to my left back. Now, if you realize, this is the only time I've done this the entire game. It took me, what, 32 minutes? This is a big mistake. I should be. You guys know what you guys know what I'm going to tell you, right? You should be using the L1 trigger down the wing all the time. Or LB if you're on Xbox. But this is just an example of where it didn't really work out for me, as you can see. This is the perfect example of why. Even when I'm not, maybe if I'm going a bit try hard is a bit different. But even me, sometimes when I'm playing quite casually, I do sometimes just forget sometimes even the basic of stuff. So as you can see now, you can see my confidence gets back. I play much more slower game, and then again, I've not used any skill moves, but again now I start using skill moves. You see, watch from this point how my gameplay changes. I wake up, I start doing a drag back. This is the first drag back I've done the entire game. Do a drag back, create the space, go backwards, get the ball with Ben Yedder here, running away. I try to do another drag back, doesn't work out, but end up turning instead. I tried doing a drag back, it didn't work out. I can't register the turn, no problem. Here I'm getting the ball here. I'm looking at this guy, I'm looking at the space available, but I'm also looking at Dembele. So what I'm doing here is I'm pretending to potentially look to this pass, but I got Sissoko in mind the entire time. Get the ball, my Sissoko, CDM. Next thing I'm thinking of, get the ball to Dembele on his feet, do a fake shot, scoop turn, something, try to get into a good opportunity here, get it. I end up doing a drag back, and I'll be honest, it kind of worked out, and I could not believe my eyes. I was honestly gobsmacked. I was thinking, what on earth is going on here? I'm just thinking, but you see, the most important thing is that don't get too frustrated. You see, I know that I'm still in the game. The most important thing, a lot of people here would just start going crazy. Now, I knew I green timed the shot here. Now, to be honest, at this point here, I think looking back, I wanted to do a fake shot. I don't know why I did drag back. I think because I took a touch outwards. So my whole idea was I wanted to be unpredictable. This is what I was thinking in my head. So the key thing was take a touch upwards, let him kind of commit with me, do a drag backwards, and then go for a shot. That was a plan. So as you can see, he kind of read that. He defended very, very well. As you can see, he defended very, very well. So as you can see, left stick dribbling helped me now a lot. Slow it down. As you can see, as soon as I saw him overcommit, I'm thinking, okay, you know what, bro, I need to go aim down. I need to go down. I need to go into this space over here. I need to go down straight away. This is what I'm thinking. I'm telling the chat. Remember, I was telling the chat that I was briefly saying after the situation, I need to get into the position over here. He's overcommitting. I know he's defending very, very well. Go down. And as soon as I create this space at this point, as you can see, I make that angle there. The thing I'm thinking now is just shoot. Just shoot. If this goes anywhere near goal, for example, like here, there, I don't shoot here. Take that extra touch. Remember I told you that 45-degree angle? I'm thinking here, just shoot. I end up timing the shot perfectly. Amazing defending, honestly, world-class defending from my opponent. Honestly, very, very well defended. I was so frustrated here. Here, go up. Try to make that. He doesn't make a tackle there, but he recovers really well. He moves the goalkeeper, I think, as well. And in this situation, This is why using a cheap team. Now now I'm at this point I'm thinking I missed that chance where that 1v1 over there, and I'm missing a chance from here, and I'm thinking I'm aiming at the center of the goal. Imagine I'm aiming at the center and he's missing, and at this point I'm in complete disarray, I'll be honest. But again, the most important thing is maintaining my composure. I don't get angry. I concentrate in the game. I know I need to get the next goal. It's very, very important. We go back to the same thing. I press very, very early on. As you can see, I'm pressing. Now, in case you're wondering what the B button is, completely ignore this. When I'm attacking, the B button for me, second defender press, it's only the B button. Don't worry about this. Just completely ignore this. It doesn't even get used anymore. It's not even worth using it anymore. I just use it purely out of habit. It's just kind of in our muscle memory. So don't worry, this is not going to make a difference. Second defender press, in theory, is going to make this person press. I mean, so if you're pressing with this guy, if you use second defender press, for you it will be R1 by default, or if you're on Xbox, it'll be RB. It's meant to make this guy run for. It doesn't work anymore. So you're probably wondering, why am I pressing circle all the time? If there's a kind of an issue with the remapping of the control, that's what ends up showing a circle. But everything else is perfect and fine. It's just that. But as you can see, it doesn't. As you can see, it doesn't do anything. So just bear in mind, if I press circle, just completely ignore it in the attacking sense. If I don't have the ball, as you can see here, I'm just pressing now. You see, I'm just pressing, trying to press. But as you can see, second defender press is somewhat. As you can see, he's kind of going into this gap. It doesn't really work, as I said. It's kind of more just AI doing random stuff. It's not worth learning at this point of FIFA anyway. But anyway, as soon as the ball gets withdrawn, I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Cut this passing lane here. He makes a big mistake. I intercept the ball, I get the ball here. Now I'm thinking here, Peñeda, you run. L1 trigger, that's it. Make a bad mistake. Again here, this is another situation where, look, again, you can see I look at the chat, big mistake. Now, if you played a driven pass down the wing, this looking away would have costed me legit 2-1, because if he got through down the wing, he was skillful enough at that point to counter me and to basically score. So had this person not a driven pass, if this guy did a driven through ball, not a driven pass, even though I was kind of predicting what he was doing and trying to play for it, I could have really got killed. Because as you can see, look how long it takes me to switch. I only realize now, and then I switch. You see that? So if he did a driven through ball there, I would have really cost my situation. But anyway, trying to maintain, again, using my cams, using my strikers, trying to press, again, running to cut the passing lanes, as you can see here. Going to this passing lane over here. Now at this point here, as soon as I see this movement over here, the L1 trigger, I don't try to run it. I kind of try to do both things. Try to run into the space and try to cut the passing lane. Even if the passing lane doesn't get cut out, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to prevent him, or let him think in his head, okay, there's a player marking that player, so I'm not going to make the pass. Sometimes the pass can still be made, but as you can see, what I do here is I just try to force the ball along, and then what I do is I then also change to my right back and try to recover that position, and then again back to press all the way from the front, run. This here, running backwards. You see, I'm maintaining stability here, running back with my striker, reinforcing the back line. See, then as you can see, look at my 4-2-3-1. That's my 2 CDMs. That's my RAM. That's my LAM. That's my cam. My striker, what did I do? I bring him back just to reinforce the middle. I don't want to score now because I'm getting what I like to call pinned. So I'm running back. Look, I'm legit running back with my striker. Look, see that? And then here I make a grave mistake. I just kind of missed the ball. A very risky pass. He made it. At this point, I have to get the ball with my centre backs. Be a little bit aggressive to kind of force him to make the pass. As soon as this pass is made, I'm looking at Peñeda. I don't care too much about Sane. Looking at Peñeda, and I'm thinking, okay, Sane's making a run down the wing, and he does make a very good thing. Now, I'll be honest, this was a deliberate tactical foul. I thought the passing lane was cut enough, but this guy did some really nice listic. As you can see, look, some Peñeda, really nice listic dribbling. As you can see, very nice. The pass shouldn't have gone through, in all honesty. But I think that is not. Nah, I think it's just offside. But anyway, I tried to make a foul. It could have really been a situation where it was really could be 2-1 if you got through again. What I'm trying to do again, bring my striker back, bring him back, let him reinforce. As I said, trying to bring my striker back, let him reinforce. And then at this situation here, I was worried because remember his first goal that he scored, he did this exact same thing. He did a volley. And I'll be honest, I kind of got worried, I'll be honest. I tried my absolute best to cut the passing lane out. Luckily hit my player's foot. It wasn't AI block, hit my player's foot. And I was there just to survive another day, should I say. But anyway, here what I'm thinking is going back to basics. I know I'm struggling, even though I got the ball back. So I'm going back to basics. L1 triggers down the wing, which is, as I said, it's the easiest way to get past your opponents. As I said, this is what I should have done from the first minute. L1 triggers. And as you can see, look, he marks the passing lane very nicely, which AI does. I go upwards instead, you see. So even if I didn't want to pass downwards over here, he's still kind of trying to mark that passing lane. So you're drifting players away from this person. So essentially, you're making more space for him. Do you see what I'm saying? So even if I don't want to make the pass down the wing, I'm making more space for my CDM. So I get the ball with Dembele here. I cut inside. And as you can see, remember, I'm on ultra defense now. So not too many players are forward. I'm not too advanced forward. I actually got a drop between defenders. I don't know if you can see it. Not drop between defenders. I actually got a situation where I'm kind of dropping in between my defenders, but my CDMs are low. I think I'm on 3 depth, I think. So playing a very, very defensive game. Everyone's gonna come back on defense. I'm just making sure I don't concede. And I am just fishing. I'm just fishing. I'll be honest. There's no one to pass to. I see, for example, I get the ball Dembele here. There's very good passing lane. No one to pass to. These guys are too far back. So I was kind of just left stick dribbling. I see him, going towards me, turn around. I see him there. I see there's a space below me because obviously he's going upwards. So I'm thinking, okay, let me just left stick downwards, go into the space. See the pass, do an L1 trigger. Make this first time pass here. Now I get the ball here. Now I'll be honest, I'll be honest, I should have maybe tried to pass upwards immediately, but he took a touch, that's fine. Again, just recovering here. That's my right back, so my left back, I'm covering a wide area, but then I changed to my CDM. You see, there's something about being aggressive and covering runs. See, now what I could have done, this is more of an advanced level thing. I would still say use your CDM, but what I was doing here is I was pushing I think it's my centre back in a situation, Schulz, to be about here. So the idea is that if Schulz stayed here, then he could potentially keep running down the wing or think there was an option to run down the wing. But by pushing Schulz here, what I'm doing is I'm creating a visual deterrent or like a visual barrier for my opponent, and then I'm switching. So what I'm doing here is, look, let's just say I switch to Sissoko and use him the entire time. Yeah, I could recover and I could get the ball. But what I do here, for example, I go like this, push Schulz that way, just a bit further down. So that way I force him to kind of go inside, away from Schulz, and that way I can change Sissoko and get the ball. So this is all about recovery. As you see that, so I'm pushing Schulz down, so I force him to go inwards, and then that way I can recover with Sissoko. But as you can see, he went back in the end at the end of the day, but it puts Sissoko out of position. So maybe you could argue it would have been better to use a CDM there, in all honesty. It would have been better to defend with AI, but I think out of habit there, I just tried to do the smart thing, which in case, if that wasn't Banyeda, that's someone else, like Ronaldo, he could have just ran down the line with 99 pace. He does a very, very nice through ball here. I'll be honest, I didn't see this till last minute. As soon as I see this pass, again, I don't run to the aggressor. I run to where the ball is going to be. Just watch. I don't run to where the ball is. I run to where the ball is going to be, as you can see here. I run all the way up. You see that? So I don't run that way. I don't even run here. I run all the way up. You see that? And this is the most important thing in takeaway. Always run where the ball is going to be. Even the ballers over here, I know he's going to have to take a touch and then go up. So I'm running up here. I'm anticipating 2 moves in advance what he's doing. And then here, this kind of forced him to take a heavy touch, and then I can easily win the ball. Now I know he's paused the game. Now I'm thinking, 43 minutes. I'm trying to go for the final attack. The final attack is when you get the ball and you're basically slowing down your gameplay and you want to get the final chance in the game. But I see a situation down the wing where I can do an L1 trigger, pass the ball to Martial. As you can see, even the L1 trigger, you see what L1 trigger has done? Even though I don't want to pass to Martial, it's actually dragged his defender to go along with Martial. You can see on the radar, as you can see. So he says defender has to follow along. So that has in turn created more space for Banyeda to go in. See, if Martial stood his ground and the defender stood his ground, then the defender would have been here marking the space. But what I've done is I've triggered Martial, defender has followed him, and that has created more space for Banyeda. So it created that passing option for Banyeda, but I decided to turn upwards, and look how much space Banyeda has now. And see, now he's in a situation where he's only got 1 CDM, and he has to do 2 things with his CDM. He has to kind of cut the passing lane, and he has to also stop the ball or stop me from kind of running into the space. But again, this whole situation wouldn't have arose, and Ben Yedder being free, Ben Yedder would have never been free if I didn't do this L1 trigger. Because just imagine, if I didn't do this L1 trigger over here, let's just say I didn't do it, right? That means Martial would have been here the entire time. Let's say he would have been here. Other defender would have been here as well with Martial. Let's just say, for example, like here. I'm going to leave this here for now. And just imagine, if Martial was here and he was aggressive with Artur, then he could have used his right back and he could have pushed upwards and kind of could have been aggressive with this guy and then could have marked like that. And then this guy could have marked his right, my Martial running in behind. So as you can see, this situation only happened because of the L1 trigger. And you see, because, let me tell you something else which is really fascinating, which maybe you don't know. Because I did that L1 trigger, the defensive line had to go backwards. So the only reason why there's enough space, see, the defensive line would have been here. And the Ben Yedder wouldn't have all this space over here. The reason why he has the space is going back to the L1 trigger. So here, Martial makes running behind. His defender has to follow the line, right? He just has to. Because if he doesn't follow the line, then Martial is through. Remember, that's how AI works, right? Martial then goes through. But then Martial, in order for my defender to follow, in order to create the defensive line, the defense has to shift. Because don't forget, I know most of you guys know, but just in case you don't know this, obviously, when Martial is running down the wing, my opponent's defensive line, they have to shift downwards as well, because otherwise, then Martial will kind of be just with the defender, and there'll be space in the middle for Ben Yedder to go, and he won't be offside. So, in order to prevent, basically, to follow the defensive line, the whole AI goes with him. As you can see, look, so the whole AI goes with him to maintain the defensive integrity. That in turn created more space for Ben Yedder in the middle. As you can see now, look, the defensive line is far back. The reason why is because Martial's up front. Now Martial's gone back on side, he's recovered. That's giving me space to pass the ball to Lucas. That's giving me the space to pass the ball to Dembele. The space to pass the ball to Dembele again, and the space to score. But again, you see, this goal would never have happened if it wasn't for this L1 trigger. This is what I'm trying to say. Even if you do an L1 trigger and you don't intend for something to happen, a lot more happens off the ball. It's the off the ball aspect which is extremely important here. Again, just going over one final time. As you can see, defensive line moves along, goes down, creates space for Ben Yedder. He becomes aggressive at Artur, passes the ball to Dembele. I then see Lucas free. I can't pass the ball to back to Ben Yedder here. Martial's out of the game, so I pass the ball to Lucas. At this situation, what I'm thinking here is I get the ball here. I'm thinking, you know what? Let me get the ball here to Lucas. What I'm thinking here, the first thing I'm thinking is let me just pass the ball to Ben Yedder. Here, I'll be honest, I'm looking at Lucas again, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can pass the ball to Lucas again. But again, I see that he's coming towards me, so what do I do? Less dribbling. So I see he's running towards me. Where do I go with less dribbling? As I mentioned, you want to go away from your opponent. So I go away from my opponent. That way I'm kind of using my body to kind of defend or kind of give me some space, if that makes sense. He runs into my body. And then at that point, I see Dembele making the run. At this point, I see Dembele making the run, but I try to do two things here. I try to go down and I go back up again to make it look like I want to pass the ball to Lucas. Now, even if Lucas got through here, I probably would have scored, probably. But I could also give me the option of Dembele as well. And this comes into the fact why long ball is extremely important, because, you know, Dembele, I think, made that. See, at this situation, I did a normal pass. I didn't even do a 1-2 with Dembele. You see that? I did a normal pass here. When I got the ball here, I never did an L1 trigger. This is long ball that made that run going forward. I should have made an L1 trigger here for sure. But the long ball tactic in my attacking tactics, a tactical instruction, tactical layout, should I say, what made Dembele make the run. So I kind of went down, went back up, pretended to pass the ball to Lucas, and then I passed back down again. This is very intricate, but I'll explain. So again, down, but I saw Lucas running through, so I wanted to pass the ball to Lucas, but I saw him recover. And I thought, let me quickly turn around here and take a risk and play a through ball. It kind of worked in the end. As you can see, it just worked. You can focus on, as you can see there, he sees the danger, so he has to cover that danger. He has no choice. Every defender or top tier defender will cover that run. There's no choice, or try to block that at least. He tries to recover, but at that point, that gives me enough time to turn again, back down again. So just focus on dribbling again, get the ball here, go up, then I go back down again, play the through ball. So here I'm just playing for time, get the ball to Dembele. I could have taken a touch downwards, and then I could have taken a shot towards goal. But I see that the goalkeeper's running towards me, and I see the defenders also closing in on me. So I want to go in between. I don't know why. It could have gone either way, I'll be honest. Either way would have been completely fine. But I think at this point, I thought he was going to kind of do it. I thought my opponent was going to run and slide. Remember I talked about slide tackle tutorial? I thought he was going to run and slide tackle into the space and then block the pass out. So my idea was I didn't want him to kind of me touch the ball, create the angle, and then him for him to slide and then block my shot. So the idea was let him commit downwards. I'm going into where he is not going to be. So again, create that simple touch, create the angle, simple goal. That's it. Now this was what gave me the cushion. This was the cushion I needed. And I explained this to the chat as well. I said I needed this goal, especially at 45 minutes. A lot of people believe in the 45-minute goal. It wasn't a 45-minute goal. It was really just bad defending from him. And this is why I don't think a lot of elite players, some elite players do, but a lot of the players, they don't really believe in the 45-minute goal. It's not a thing either. I was trying to go for the final attack there, but I saw a good chance and I made position. So he made a pause much early on. So I'm just talking to the chat, explaining. I think what I'm saying here is I needed that goal, and I was also explained I needed to get this win. Because I remember at this point, if I won this game, I would be 23-3, and that way I could have made a push for Elite One by winning all the games in a row. So I had to kind of get this win. I was trying to explain to the chat, and I was also explaining to them what I was trying to do. But anyway, at this point, as you can see, look, I don't press X straight away. So as you can see, look, I don't press X. I don't press resume game. I'll press resume match. I just let the controller go, the menu disappears, and then what I do after is I wait. Now I'm waiting for about 10 seconds, and I'm waiting to just give myself some mental break, but I also want to go to player rating to see what team is using. So as you can see, get the credit up, I'm going to go to player rating. So what I'm going to is player rating, or I try my best to go to him. I don't know what I was doing here. I think I was meant to go to player rating, but I think someone asked me a question in the chat and I got distracted. But what I was meant to do here, I'm pretty sure what I would have done is I would have gone to player rating over here, and I would have seen what formation he's playing, the position of his players. I would have seen who's on his sub bench, what super sub does he have, what changes he's potentially making. But I think I was asking someone was asking me a question about something. How to do something in the chat, so I think I was trying to explain something, but yeah, that's what I would have done. But anyway, at this point I know it's half time. I see to defend now. The most important thing is defending. As you can see, I'll be honest, I know people get angry, I don't really skip that goal. Just wanted to answer the question, maintain composure. Now I know he made his sub, I don't know what sub he made, but I'm trying to defend first. I thought let me just defend first, get a defense position. I know it's plus 2 minutes. Now I knew this time the game's over. I was like, here, when the ball's in the middle of the pitch, when the time has run out, as soon as the ball kind of transitions to the final third, the referee blows the whistle, as you can see. The only time, in case you're wondering, the only time the whistle will ever remain is if I'm attacking and the ball's in a final third, and it's plus 2 minutes and the game's already gone on, the referee will let the ball go on for one final play. However, because the ball's in the middle of the pitch and there's no attack or anything going on, you don't have the final attack, and the referee just blows the whistle. So that's half time, as you can see. So I know this. I know I'm winning. I'm trying to. I'll be honest. It's kind of a bit impatient. I'm trying to skip. I don't look at the stats. Remember, I don't look. I briefly look at them. Just kind of glance at them, but I don't take into consideration because I knew that he was winning. He had more possession. I kind of changed my game through. And here I'll be honest. I'm just answering the chat. Any questions that I explain. I think someone's asked me something about the goal. And I think I was meant to go to player rating again, but I got distracted. But anyway, let's get on to the second half. Okay, we are back. Just feel free to take a break as well. Obviously, it's been an hour into the video. Some of you may have been sitting here for an hour. So obviously, feel free to take a break, and you can obviously come back at any time, as I mentioned in the first couple of minutes. But anyway, we go onwards onto the second half. I had a quick break as well myself. Commentating for an hour is quite long, non-stop. But anyway, moving on. So anyway, second half, I'll be honest, at this point, I knew that the game was, I wouldn't say the game is finished, but I knew as long as I kept the lead, I knew I'd be good. Now, I remember going back how my opponent had a bit more possession than I initially expected, but I wanted to control the game. Now, this is, I think, the difference between a gold and elite player is controlling the game. I wanted to have a good understanding of the game, and I wanted to control the game. So my logic was I want to play a slow systematic game, use more L1 triggers down the wing because I didn't need the goal anymore, and so I started playing a slow methodical game. So I changed my game style up again a bit. I did laps. I see, for example, he brought Vidal on for Rashford, so I think at this point, why is he bringing a Vidal on? I remember I was thinking he's changing formation, but anyway, so I started doing 1-2s more down the wing. as you can see, and I'm playing a more defensive formation. As you can see, I'm using drop between defenders. As you can see, I got my back fives to drop between defenders and ultra defensive. As you can see, and I got my my 4 players, got my 4 strikers, and then I got my 1 centre mid. Because don't forget, the other CDM in a 4-2-3-1, he's in a drop between defenders. So this is more defensive stability, should I say? Playing a very systematic game. Again, what I'm doing is L1 triggers. So again, do an L1 trigger. Do a very nice L1 trigger, but he does very good defending over here. Do a simple fake shot, ball roll, create the angle, Ruslan left-footed. Simple, but he defends it very, very well, so fair play to him. And at this point, I knew that he knew how to defend against it, but you could still get past using L1 triggers. Here, very simple bait. All I did is I originally wanted to pass to this guy, but in order to, if I pass it to him straight away, he's going to mark it. So what I do is I get one of the other players, run this way to distract, because he has to follow, because this guy's going to be down the wing and free. So he has to follow along with it, and that in turn will create space for Dembele. So you can see, very, very simple. Get the ball, move along. He moves along, create space, as you can see, for Dembele, and that gives me space in the middle. And again, just switch the ball, play very systematic game, because he played the same thing in the first half against me. I knew he was a possession-based player, and possession-based players that don't like to not have possession, but I didn't want to overdo it. The key thing is, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to fish for an opportunity like a goal, but I don't necessarily want to score, if that makes sense. What I mean by that is, I don't want to look to score unless I really have to. If there's a clear chance, I'll take it. If not, I'll play slow. So I make the pass to Dembele, as you can see here. Do a fake shot, try to get past him. Ends up becoming a scoot fake shot. That's fine. Again, recover. Playing ultra defensive now, so I'm using my striker first. Try to press from the front. I'm not gonna now because I'm winning now. I'm gonna be very conservative now. I'm gonna make sure I don't push too many players out of position. Gonna use my striker now. As you can see, switching the ball to do an L1 trigger down the wing. Switch to my Lamb to cover that pass, as you can see. So what I'm doing here, as soon as that, I'm thinking, okay, he can do the driven pass down the wing. So I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Let me switch to my Lamb. But it's something that recurs throughout the game. You're gonna see is quite a lot. As you can see now, it's more about positioning. So again, I'm just kind of keeping my. You can always watch this back and maybe mute my voice and maybe just see what I'm doing with the controller. But in order not to prolong the video too long, I'm just doing the same thing as I mentioned. Running back all the way with the striker now, all the way with the striker. Change to my CDM, get the ball. And see the foul. Okay, I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I don't know what happened here. I don't know why I was angry, but I think it was something to do with the chat. But anyway, get a free kick, and I'll be honest, this is why I was getting upset. I should have pressed triangle here. When you press triangle or you press Y if you're on Xbox, this wall, it jumps. The whole wall, it just jumps up. So that way, if the ball does go up, the wall jumps up. And also, I wanted to move my goalkeeper using the right analog stick, but I didn't get time. But it was Areola is not a good goalkeeper. He's horrendous. I knew my goalkeeper was bad as well, so I don't want to risk it. Goalkeeper movement over here, corners, typical as I mentioned in my corner free kick videos. Move the corners, see he's doing it short. Use the running. So here, I try to stop him from over committing. I kind of forced to what I did here is I didn't want him to do a fake shot like this and go down the wing. So what do? Again, I'm over committing on the inside to push him backwards. So I'm just over committing so he can't do a. So you see that? Just over committing there. So I'm over committing there to force him to go backwards, because if he does a fake shot, goes down the wing and he's here, you can just square the ball and it's very easily 2-2. So again, defending, and again he goes for that tackle again. I tried to defend against it, and I'll be honest, our heart almost sank it because I thought Dembele is probably going to score now. The only thing that kind of saved me was the fact that Dembele was actually not shooting near post, because Areola is honestly a terrible goalkeeper. He's honestly terrible. So I get the ball again. As you can see, I don't rush as soon as I get the ball out. I don't do. Most of you guys, I'm not saying all of you, but most of you guys do like a quick one touch pass. I don't. There's no one near me. I analyze situation. I see the guy running towards me. There's space below me. So he's a left analog stick here. I'm wary about this guy. I'm wary about him. There's a lot of space. I played it. I wait. I see what he's doing. Play the safe option, and then I play a chip through ball down the wing. Again, same thing. Lucas 1-2. Get the ball again. See Lucas. Try to do like an L1 triangle pass. I'll be honest, it actually kind of worked. I didn't expect it to work. I'll be honest. At this point, this is the rare time where I do like an L1 triangle type pass. I really didn't expect it to work. Not with Dembele anyway. But somehow it got through. I really don't know how. It just got I'll be honest, I got very lucky this instance. As you can see, Kent really messed up. No one to support me, so I tried to just kind of go backwards, but there's no one available. Now I get a corner and I'm thinking, okay, corner, bring a player close, exact same thing for the first goal. So I pass the ball back to Ben Yedder, get the ball here outside the box, and I pass the ball back to Dembele here. At this point, what I'm thinking here, as soon as I get the ball, fake shot, and then try to shoot. This is the most common thing that I do. I always do this thing. So every time I do a corner, I normally pass the ball either to this player over here. So I try to be, I'll either go this way and kind of pass backwards and go inside like I did for the first goal, or I'll go all the way back and then go like that, or then go like this. And then do a fake shot and try to go either way. That's the way I take my corners. That is a staple way I score my corners. It's just the way I do it. It doesn't always work. Maybe there's other efficient methods, but it's the way I do it. It's like my play style. As you can see now, I'm counter attacks. What I'm thinking here, run back with Dembele. See, I don't be aggressive again. I'm running to over here. I don't even care if he's got the ball here. I'm just running here to where the ball is going to be eventually. So I'm running, as you can see, trying to cut him out on the short distance. As you can see, I've recovered. Malinjoki forced him to go backwards. Again, change to my CDM, cut the passing lanes, run back with my CDM, cut the passing lanes again, running back with my CDM. Then I run back with my striker, because at this point, if I used Goretzka too much, then Goretzka would have gone all the way here, and then that would have created this passing lane straight all the way to Sane. I don't want to create this almost radius or this angle towards Sane. So I let go, relieved Sane, and I kind of pressed with Ben Yedder. So this is what I said going back to my, you can change to your striker. Use a striker, kind of reinforce. Get the ball with Goretzka. And again, it's the same thing. Now we're just going to recycle the play again. It's the exact same thing. L1 triggers down the wing. 1-2 with Ben Yedder. Wait for Lucas to overlap. See what he's doing. Get the ball here. Drag back or something. I don't know what I'm doing. But it's also the same thing. But here, I'm winning 2-1. This is what I mean about controlling the game. You know, going back, using your CDMs very wisely. Understanding where you are positioned in the game. You know you're winning 60 minutes. You don't I knew at this point I could basically afford to let my opponent, because my opponent, he needs to score, so let him press, you know, let him be extremely aggressive. So play a very systematic game, hold the ball up. I see he's got two strikers forward, so he's playing like a 4-4-2, that variation. So I knew the downside with a 4-4-2 is you have like the two centre mids, the left mid and right mid, and you have the two strikers. So this is why looking at formations are important. In this situation, what's happened is he's got Ryan Kent as a left back, so his left back is meant to be here. He's got his back four and he's got his midfield four like this, and his two strikers. In a 4-2-3-1 setup, what would hypothetically happen is you'll have something like this, something like this. But because he's missing this central cam player against the 4-4-2, now I knew this from game experience, but that's why I suggested looking at player rating. So I know he's playing a 4-4-2, so he's got a massive gap between his midfield four and his two strikers. So I want to exploit this area over here. So I'm just going to keep passing the ball around, let him push a centre mid out of position. See, I'm just going to let him. See, look. See, I'm just not even rushing. See, I'm letting him push centre mids out of position. You see that? I'm almost baiting him. So I'm seeing here. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, come towards me, mate. You're the one that needs to press me. So again, waiting for him. As soon as he makes the pass angle, see the space there. See Ben Yedder. What I'm thinking here, possible Ben Yedder, do a fake shot into the space, or do a ball backwards here. Go back again. I see Martial gets alleviated from the space. Get the ball here. I'm thinking to go fake shot downwards. This is what I thought I did, or I'm thinking I'm doing. Nope, I go inside again. And do a nice. I didn't expect me to. I should do that. I can't remember doing this actually. This gameplay was actually some time ago. But anyway, look, get the ball. But you see, it's just the opening up the space. You see that? Is baiting, because I knew he's got a midfield four. He needs to break this midfield four, because what's he going to do? Let me have the ball there forever? I'll make a chance if I have the ball. He has to press me. When he presses me, it becomes a midfield three. So I knew that I got space. Now it's a midfield three. I get the ball with Dembele. I see Ben Yedder. I'll be honest, I thought I was going to do a fake shot down the wing. That's what I thought. That would have been another option, go down the wing, then maybe go for a near post shot. That could have been a viable option. Decided to turn away and play a more safer option. I don't know why. I think maybe because the way the game is laid out. As you can see, I'm using drop between defenders. As you can see, got one CDM only. So I just wanted to be extra safe, I think, in case I did lose the ball. So I went backwards, went all the way back to my singular CDM, as again, no cam. If you didn't have a cam, it would have been different. As soon as I get the ball here, what I'm looking at when I get the ball at this position, at this point, my eyes really glance to who's available. And then I see, for example, Martial coming inwards. You see that? So here, I'm looking at Martial, see he's coming inwards, and I make the pass to Martial immediately. So I kind of know this is happening. This will come with experience, but I knew that Martial would come inwards. I get the ball with Martial, and I'll be honest, I didn't really expect for me to do this, I'll be honest. But this is another example of where, look, simple ball roll. As I said, ball away from the player. And as you can see, he just gets tricked for a second. Then what I do here, remember going back to left dribble, remember I told you, look at where the player is running towards you and left dribble into the opposite direction. So here, I kind of want to go down. So I know it's kind of to overcommit, so I want to go down here. So what I do is I go down. As soon as I'm here, there's two things I can do. I could do a drag back over here and take a shot towards goal. That's a viable solution. I could even do a fake shot that way and take a shot a near post, or like an L1 fake shot, like a scoop fake shot. There's many things I could do here. A drag back is good, but it takes some time to kind of do. So what this is the benefit with the 5-star weak foot. This is why I always say try to get a 5-star weak foot. Even if you're playing seasons, try to put someone like Dembele in a cam or strike. But if you're playing with Barcelona, maybe Messi, for example, and striker Messi, and Dembele and cam might be useful, for example. But this gave me the ability to see, when he was defenders, he knew I was on my right foot. He knew if I did a fake shot here and I got through, it would have been a goal. Because I have a 5-star weak foot, it makes him change the way he defends. So he has no choice but to commit over here. And as I said again, remember, see where he is. So I want to turn inwards. And I'll be honest, I was looking at passing at them to Martial here, but I saw the space being created. And I just kind of, I'll be honest, I just kind of had to go with a shot and it went in. As you can see, gold Ben Yedder, but very simple. Downwards, upwards, that's it. Simple shot. Simple shot. At this point, then I'll be honest, at this point I knew I was basically in the pole position now to get the win. Now I didn't want to mess it up. The last thing on my mind now is conceding kickoff. So the most important thing is now, let me concentrate, let me not concede kickoff. So I'm watching kickoff, trying to not concede. Don't forget I'm using overload the ball side. But this could be emulated using low width. I wouldn't recommend using this much of a low width. I would say, because remember how I said in my videos, if you use too much of a low width, let's say for example your opponent has the ball here and he switches the ball, then he's going to have all this space, the wide corridor on the wing to run into. But because I would say I'm quite skilled at the game, it gives me the ability, for example, to run. So let's say the ball does get switched, I would know immediately to run out with my right back so I can cover for that position. And then I would know, for example, to then choose my ram and then kind of press or kind of run back depending on the situation. But that's one thing I would say. But as you can see, this was my defensive variation, so I was just trying to close out the game. And as you can see here, I was kind of aware what was going on. I saw how wide my team was, so I was trying to literally get to this, trying to cut this passing lane as soon as I can. I didn't want him to get the ball down the wing, but again, holding the ball, using my striker now, running back, reinforcing the back line again. As I said again, this is a good example because I'm using a low width. I'm trying to cover essentially the run down the wing. So I'm running out with him. Then I changed to Zoko, cutting the passing lanes. Then I changed back to my striker and I'm cutting the passing lanes. See that? I'm just trying to create a brick wall. I'm doing three things. One, if he switches the ball here and then he gets the ball to Vidal, what I would do here is I'll move this guy here and I'll move this guy here. That's what I'll do. If he has the ball here, I'll just run back with my striker. What I'm doing is I'm making sure I have defense stability, making sure I'm covering everything where he's got nowhere to go. Kind of forcing him. Then see again here, I see Kent's free. So again, I'm thinking, you know what? At this time, I don't want to move my right back too much because this is the final third. If I misplace this guy and he runs inwards, I could be in serious trouble. So I'm very careful at this point. But what I just choose with Lucas, first thing I'm thinking of, okay, this guy, let me cut this passing lane and go towards that passing lane. Then I change to Zoko. I'm looking at the main guy, Ben Yedder, the main striker. I don't care about Sane too much because he's left-footed. But even then, the most imminent danger is if they both had 5-star weak foot. So I try to, maybe position myself in the same way. But again, looking at Ben Yedder, the main guy, as you can see, cutting a passing lane to Ben Yedder. As you can see, I'm not falling for the bait too much, and I kind of fell for it just about here. What I should have done here is I should have either ran back into Ben Yedder, or I should have used my striker or my cam and should have ran back here. Got baited a little bit, I'll be honest, and at this point I tried to be a bit aggressive, and this is the benefit of fullbacks. As you can see, the recovery, see that? I see that, I make a mistake, but because fullbacks, the agility balance is so good, I could easily, look at that. This is why fullbacks, just look at the jump. Which centre back can jump from here to here, with that, you need high pace and agility balance to do that, and that's what made me recover, anticipate the pass, and then simple. Now at this point I knew I had full control of the game. All I had to do now is just abuse the wings because he's eventually going to make a mistake. So this entire game now, 70 minutes now, I know I basically won. All I got to do is abuse the wing play. All I got to do now is just go down the wings because that's where people are always using overload the ball side. they're defending very narrow. So the key thing is just going down the wing. So again, 1-2, see Lucas. Can I make the pass? If I can't make the pass, what would I do? Is I'll switch the ball. That's what I'll do. That's what I should do, in fact. Here I just make a normal pass to Lucas instead of a driven pass, because I knew at this point he's not, as I said, he's not. If Lucas was like kind of like alongside Kent like that, and Kent was here, then I could do the driven pass along the line. But because I saw the way Kent was positioned, he could run to the ball first. Simple pass into Lucas's feet. That's it. Very, very simple. Back, recycle the play. Again, same thing. This time I did a quick 1-2. As you can see, he kind of fell for it. He knows he has to press. This is the benefit of being in control. This is why winning is so important, because when you have a goal, you can very easily control the game. As you can see, he made a very big mistake, and at this point, I know I don't have to score, so I don't be too aggressive. As you can see, look, I don't need to go forward anymore. I'm 3-1 ahead. You know, if I lose the ball here and he counterattacks and it's 3-2, I could be put under real pressure. So I'm thinking, you know what? Look, you know what? There's no point. You know, I'll just go down here, do a ball all away from him. As I said, my tutorial was ball all away. Let my two strikers go forward, and again, going to pin him again. He's in a 4-4-2. Again, make use of that midfield space. Quick, use that one CDM here. Again, use my CDMs. And now here, the only reason why I made the pass, because there was a visible opportunity here, as you can see. Obviously here, the visible chance to get the ball to Ben Yedder, and then Ben Yedder can do a fake shot and then score a goal. That was it. Very, very simple play. But again, it was just because I saw the visible pass here. It was the only reason it was made. Had he not moved Artur over there and Dembele wasn't free, then I would have just probably gone back and recycled the play. Worst case now, I've gone back to my left back. That's what I would have done. But this is why using your CDM, see how just by recycling the play, as I mentioned in my other video, you create chances. But it was good defending in the end. And I think it was just a very, very unlucky from it. I'll be honest, this is one of the times when the benefits are in my favour. Well, actually, I wouldn't say really got lucky. There should have been a good drag back, actually. I don't know what happened. If it looks like the drag back hit my heel. I don't know. I kind of just stopped halfway through. But you decided to turn back, which is a big, big mistake. And you decided to turn. So maybe not. I suppose he made a mistake there. Get the ball with Ben Yedder. And I do a drag back. Now, the reason, I'll be honest, I could have taken a shot here. I'll be honest, I should have just taken a shot. But I don't know why I took a drag back. Don't do a drag back. Just take a normal shot. At this point, I knew the game was done. Absolutely done. And that was the rage quit I needed. That was the game I needed. And I'll be honest, at this point, I was happy because I'll be honest, I was more than anything, I was tired. I was so tired after this game. I think it was almost 3 o'clock in the morning, and I remember I was playing my main team. I just wanted to go to bed. I'll be honest, at 23-3, I was like, you know what, I want to call it a day at 23-3. I got what I needed to get. Got the challenge. I should have got it 23-1 or 23-2, I think, ideally. I think realistically, I think 23-2 would have been a fair result. I mean, even 23-1, I think would have been more important. But as you can see, I get it in the end. 2 hours or so. So this is actually 6 o'clock in the morning. A lot of the time, the Sweats were playing at this time. And I knew now if I wanted to get... And the reason why I bought the last games is, in case you're wondering, I didn't get Elite 1 in the end. I kind of had to rush my games. And I kind of won the next one. I lost the one after that. And then there was no point. If that makes sense. So anyway, that's the most important thing. As you can see, that's my team. But it's just a running commentary. You know, this video was mainly made for those of you that maybe wanted to know, for example, how to get better at the game using a cheap team. It is still possible, but also to give you insight of how I play as well against a higher tier, and also you can do it. The whole idea is I want you to get better at the game, and I'm not saying you'll get to this level immediately, but the more you listen and the more you play, and if you just trust me, you will get to a level where you can use cheap teams like this and very easily get elite without even trying. That's the skill level I want you guys to eventually get. And it'll be a long journey, but most definitely it will be a very easy journey, very simple football that can be applied to any FIFA. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, boys.